Hey, you seen Johnson and Peacemaker?
I accidentally became a meme, and the internet was like, we can't see this guy. I don't know why. Like,
Neither did I. Episode 1 takes off with a recap of the events of the Suicide Squad. Not the bad one, the good one. Remember, had the good songs, ooh, my favorite rats. I can't do a British voice. I don't know why I tried.
Don't calm down with the rats. What? I have a thing with rats.
But if you don't want to be spoiled here, I'm going to do a spoiler-free review, and then I'm going to talk about all the nitty-gritty details. So, let's get into it. Honestly, the humor, and I mean this in the most respectful way, humor is amazing. It's 9 out of 10. It is honestly one of the best parts of the show, and it has this James Gunn feel to it that all his movies have. So, if you're ready to laugh, get ready for this show. And I'll tell you this, because, hope you can keep a secret. I literally shit myself when watching the show. Like, not like, oh, exaggerate. No, I normally, like most people do, I watch my stuff on the bathroom toilet. So I was on the toilet watching it, and there was this one joke that literally made me shit myself. I laughed that hard. It's baffling, actually. But I don't know, maybe you don't want to shit yourself. So I don't know, maybe where it depends before you watch the show. So, but next let's get into character interactions. Character interactions were solid, to the point, builds on stuff that'll be added on to later episodes, and it kind of fed it to you. It wasn't really complicated ways like, oh, this was never elaborated before, but it did, it didn't beat you over the head with it. It was in a subtle way. For example, Peacemaker's father and Peacemaker himself, they have a rough relationship, and all the interactions kind of show that. And then we have, how the crew interacts with a new person, and it kind of reminds me of whenever a new person comes to the office. And next we have the music. Once again, James Gunn put his foot in it with music, and all the music kind of felt on theme with the show, Peacemaker, the characters themselves, and what they're going through. But I cannot make a review without talking about the opening. It is literally one of the best attention getters I have seen in a while. 2022 best anime opening goes to Peacemaker. I won't spoil it too much, but you should watch it before you watch the show. Watch it twice, maybe 3 times. Get out your system before you watch the show, because that, honestly to God, made me want to do this video. That opening. Alright, time to get into the spoiler-free part. So, if you don't want to hear any spoilers, pause this video, go watch Peacemaker, and come right back. If you don't care about spoilers, I really don't care. I've been spoiled for everything in my life. So, let's get into it. Let's go do this review. So, Peacemaker gets out of the hospital, after the events of the Suicide Squad, and end credits, he literally was in the hospital, building fell him, got shot in the neck, etc. Had that fight with Rick Flag. And then they just said, you're free to go. And as Peacemaker's trying to leave, the rejected members of Task Force X Command Center were those 2/3 people who helped Task Force X defeat Starro and the Suicide Squad, are now working with Peacemaker as punishment. I'm doing air quotes. I don't know why. You can't even see it. For Amanda Waller. So they track him back to his trailer park. He lives in a trailer park. Typical, he's a criminal and he's American. So kind of 2 for 2 there. And, he meets Mr. Mearns. Mr. Mearns is a new character brought on, and he is leading this new kind of department that's worked with Peacemaker. They give him an ultimatum, kind of like the Suicide Squad. Either he works with them, go back to jail, or he, dies with the bomb still in his neck. So Peacemaker grudgingly decides to work with the group. There's a new person introduced. Her name is Leota. She's kind of like, kind of plunky, new person, really excited. There was a scene with her and her significant other at the beginning of the episode, talking about, this new job and stuff. And this will come back into play later, so keep that in mind. He agrees. Peacemaker agrees. He goes to, pick up a new helmet, a new suit, because, of course, after building out jobs on you, you're not going to look fashion ready. So, of course, you got to get a little stuff in. And he also get his pet eagle. He'd been in jail for, 4 years? Yeah, 4 years. I should have wrote that down, but I didn't. So he's pet eagle. He surprised his dad. A couple little jokes there. I don't like to spoil the jokes, because to be honest, the point of a good joke is like its punchline, and you're not expecting its punchline. So why should I spoil a joke when it will just like have less effect on you? So go watch the episode seriously. I'm not doing like every single part of it. You need to get the jokes from it, since the humor is the best aspect. But I digress. So he gets his new helmet from his dad. His dad gives him shit. His dad is disappointed and Peacemaker, just like all our dads are, especially mine. So, a lot of cute moments there, a lot of touching moments, and kind of, again, back to the character interaction thing, kind of see how Peacemaker and his dad don't really have any bond besides belittling others. And if Peacemaker can't find someone for them both to belittle, then Peacemaker's the one being belittled. And then, Peacemaker's dad brings, gives Peacemaker some new helmets. There's like, there's one with like a sonic boom and some other stuff. There's an end clip later that goes back to this, which I believe these new Peacemaker episodes are gonna have like these ending credit stuff. So keep an eye out for that. Make sure you watch those. They're pretty funny. So after that, he gets a new helmet. He meets at a diner, I forget what it's called, JJ's Diner or whatever, with the new team. He goes in full uniform. They rib him for that, and it was in the trailer too. So the joke's always spoiled, but it was fucking hilarious just watching him show up like this and talk about the mission, what they got to do. And at the end of the diner scene, Peacemaker and Leota have a nice moment when Peacemaker is like, petting eagerly. And, it was good, like, character dynamic, so you can tell, like, the rest of the team kind of hates Peacemaker or despises him. Leota's more open to making friends, and we'll get back to this later. But next, Peacemaker driving home, he follows Hardcourt, the blonde lady, into a bar where, he tries to, make conversation. Peacemaker's trying to, get back out there. Been dry for 4 years. Some of us been dry for 18 years. He's trying to get back in the field. And Hardcourt's being hit on by a couple guys, annoying guys, like, she, exchange some vulgar words, not safe for children. And, it leads to that part where, where like fighters do that little spin thing where, they wrap around people's necks and like, it's like a weird like chokehold thing with their thighs. She did that on this big ass biker, and like most of us, Peacemaker got a huge erection in this and tries to hit on Hardcourt. Hardcourt's not having it because Peacemaker is pretty much a shitty dude, obviously, and dips, making Peacemaker feel even shittier. At this point, we're kind of noticing how Peacemaker's, while he is a bad person, he's having a terrible first day out. All the things he tried to hold on to while in prison kind of falling apart. Things are not what he expected. And good news for him, something turns up. He gets eyes from this girl in the bar with some weird hair. They go back to her place and they fuck for about, a couple minutes. And afterwards, Peacemaker, he's hyped. Like every guy is after sex, he's hyped, he's dancing around, it's the music. Bam, out of nowhere, that woman tries to kill Peacemaker. I'm not sure why, that we'll find out in later episodes, but it's a brutal fight with excellent cinematography and choreography. Honestly, like how the camera moves, how the characters fight each other, brilliant. Honestly, this show does well with it. I can't wait for them to do more. Eventually, after the fight, midway to the fight, Peacemaker's kind of bloodied and broken because the woman got the upper hand on him at first. He drops down to the parking lot, goes to his car, activates his new helmet, the sonic boom helmet. You see, remember from earlier, and boom, bits and pieces of that woman, all across. And that is the end of Peacemaker's day. Eagerly comes over to comfort him, like a good pet always does, and it cuts to Leota, where she's on a FaceTime with Amanda Waller talking about the interactions between the team and Peacemaker. Turns out, Leota is a double agent working for Amanda Waller, being the eyes and ears on the new team and Peacemaker, of course. Leota expresses her empathy for Peacemaker, showing how the interaction earlier kind of means something. And it's revealed at the end of the episode, surprise, surprise, Amanda Waller is Leota's mother. Which kind of explains why there's so much emphasis on Leota and her life outside of the scenes that include Peacemaker. So, big takeaway of this, overall, it is a brilliant start to a series. James Gunn has once again blown me away with his ability to make me love irrelevant characters. I don't know what it is, but I hope James Gunn does more with the DCEU after this project, and hope the DCEU holds on to him tight, because without James Gunn, DCEU will be bankrupt. So, this video is getting as long as it is, and I don't know if you'll want to watch me do this whole process again, so I will save the other 2 episodes that came out with the first episode for later, depending how y'all like this video. But if you want a number ranking, here it is. I'm gonna give it a 9 out of 10. I don't believe in 10 out of 10s. I never do, but it's a really solid episode. Hooks an audience in, has great humor. It keeps you wanting more. And I had to restrain myself from watching the other episodes afterwards because I needed my sleep. So, if you enjoyed my shitty jokes or the review, leave a like, a comment, and subscribe for more. That's it. Soul King Sage, signing off.